right. Please bear with me sometimes because sometimes, I remember when I had a cheaper laptop, which is underneath the one my Google Chromebook, which I use now. It wouldn't even let me go live. It was like ridiculous. So, Warrior Junior here for another educational, informative diary of the things that I think of when it comes to health, fitness, life related struggles that many people might keep inside, but I put it out there, and I think that's important because even if nobody watches, and that's I was training in the park today, and many people they set up cameras, and I don't know what they're doing, they're recording. They weren't recording a workout, but they're recording something to show, and it seems like the only things that get attention are if you do something that's so stupid, buffoonery type, the clown buffoonery type dumb things, or something that's so extraordinary, like breaking a world record or something. There's only things that get attention that people watch, and you know what? I'm okay with that because I'm neither, you know? And a lot of younger people, they want that attention, Like I remember I was young once, half a century ago, 25 years ago. I'm sorry, that'd be a quarter of a century. I'm over a century year old. But the thing is, like my dream was to dance on TV. This is before YouTube. And I got mine. I got mine a number of times actually. But I didn't become anything, I grew up with the guys. You remember the show? These guys, break dancers, and Turbo and Ozone, Shabadoo and Boogaloo Shrimp, and these guys, Pop and Taco. And the older you get, when you start seeing these people pass away, you're like, holy shit! These. It's just they're so important, to me. These people like that defined an era, and great choreographers, and eventually that's what happens. You live long enough and you're not going to be here one day, and I'm so glad that Stallone wrote the book, the Steps book, while he's still with us. It's really important. These people, like what they did, man. It's just like such a big deal. Everybody looks at, well, look at his cars, look at his watches collection, look what he's got. You know, that's not important. Like you see what people, their big mansions, what they have. I know they got all that, but I call these people, these are, everybody's a one of one, but these people that they shook the world, dude. Do you understand like how important what you know Rocky? Like, God, I mean, it's like people like Jennifer Lopez that paved the way, like for Latina actresses. And I know she wasn't the first, but I mean, it's like, wow, look how beautiful she is. Look how beautiful. It's dude, the work ethic is insane. You don't see, like, everybody sees when you have, but it's like it's this is why I got on this one, because you see, I go backwards, and I talk about how hard, how, and I hate that word, how hard things are. It's hard. Life is hard. It's challenging. It's challenging, and a lot of people are just not down down for this, like they say, look, let me just survive, and you know, I got enough on my plate. And if you go back far enough, you create your own life. You create it. And it's amazing that, I got to chase every dream in my life. Everything. I didn't care, whatever it was. And it's irrelevant to talk about it because, I'm just, you're sized up on this, and in everything that you do. And you go around, if you tell people, the wrong people, like what you, then they just go, it's not a big deal. It's like, well, it's not a big deal to you, but it is a big fucking deal to me. Listen, I know guys that if it ain't money, like most people, it's like, dude, if there's no money to be made, it's not lucrative, then I don't want to hear it, and well, fine. But Wayne Dyer talks about this, and he did talk about in his book and on his thing about the disease called more, and it's never enough, and I get all that. You know, they say the hardest part for a seed is the initial growth at the bottom to crack through the soil, to get to the sunlight, really grow into a tree or whatever, giant sunflower, whatever. But it the work is done in the roots underground, like where it's not seen. Let me tell you like what I did just today. I train every day. And you know, most people it's just one thing. They say, well, what are you? If you're a bodybuilder, then they think of these huge guys, IFBB pros. That's a bodybuilder, a massive man. They don't even know about natural bodybuilding because it's so poorly promoted because it's not impressive. It's funny, like, I walk to the gym with my shirt off, the sun is out, and I see people running, sometimes their shirts off, whatever. You go, wow, how lean that guy is, how cut up he is. But it's not that big of a deal compared to what, like, one of these behemoths, these guys that are huge, wow, look at the size of that guy, whatever, and it really is a shame that what we put value on, it's like a personal trainer can make what, $50 an hour, but then when somebody needs to go to a fucking doctor, there is no amount of money, like the doctor, whatever they make, because because that's just the way it is. You know, I could talk till the end of time, my time, about health and fitness, and no one would give a shit because people really don't care until something happens to them. That's what I always say, or I say, or someone else says, that Father Time is undefeated. It's not that Jacques Lalanne lived till 94. The dude could tow rowboats 70 years old, 80 years old. Most people, they can't do shit. They do the vanity thing for a little bit when they're young. If they get married and have kids, whatever, in their 30s, and they don't, that's it, in the gym, whatever, 40s and 50s. I don't got time for that. I got to make a living. I got to make money. The generic matrix type thinking, that is instilled. Go out and get a job and cog in the wheel. And then when you're 65, you can relax and enjoy retirement. Dude, by the time you're that age and you never took care of yourself, you ain't going to be able to move around. I'll give you an example. This guy that I talk to all the time, that's a lackey. He's a good guy, but he just never, made anything of himself, never went after any dreams or goals or anything. And he knows this guy that was a bus driver in New York for 30 years, and he's got to walk with a cane now. He's retired. Yeah, he guys got money, but he can't even fucking, he's in terrible shape from pushing the pedal for 35 years. Sitting in on driving a bus is bad for your kidneys. You're not moving around. It's just all sacrificing your body to just be a public servant. I mean, and again, it's no disrespect to anybody that does these public service jobs or anything, but again, the reality is the sacrifice. Everything is a fucking sacrifice. And like today, I'm getting ready for this big bodybuilding show in November, and it's an incredible sacrifice. Gym in the morning, then park in the afternoon where I do calisthenics, and then at night cardio bike at the gym again. It's just a shit ton of sacrifice that no one sees, and I don't care if they don't. I don't need the fucking attention, man. Does it has no value because people don't want, they just want to see either the freaks, the guys, the Sam Sulik or Arnold. What are you talking? They don't give a fuck about, if you're not like the side Jay Cutler or whatever. They're like, well, what are you, dude? You're like this little natural bodybuilder, but you don't know what else. I combine freestyle martial arts, types of MMA type jujitsu um, moves in my workouts. Lots of interesting things that no one fucking does. Most people are one dimensional. They're either trying to get big or they do karate or they do this. They just do one thing or they just do calisthenics, but they don't combine everything. A little bit of everything. And to me, it boils down to one thing as you get older, and that's movement. It's either, yeah, these guys that they just run marathons or ultras, and I mean, David Goggins is an super extreme example of a guy that lifts weights, does calisthenics, and runs ultras. I mean, it's a extreme example. But if you could be 1% of that, or whatever, it just shows you what's possible. I mean, it's really amazing. Um, it takes a sacrifice, and it can be very disheartening when you think about it. Well, how do I make money if I don't? And it's like, look, I don't know how to tell you. I am very antisocial, specific, but it just I don't like people generally. I don't, and the reason I don't is because every time in my entire life that I've just about, I mean, I have a couple close friends, and then everybody else I don't care about really. And the reason why is because I always felt that I was told that we don't need a guy like you, or, you're not good enough, you're not this, we don't, So if you've been told your entire life, go away, we don't need you, I kind of just came to the conclusion, well, then fuck everybody. Like, well, then I'm tired of trying. Like, I might as well just work on myself and not help anybody because nobody's helping me. Like, that's the way the world works. Like, you have to figure it all out on your own. I wrote a dance movie. That was my ultimate dream. I tried to. I cannot tell you how many emails I tried it, and nobody would even listen to me because they can't. If they read your script and then they say, well, then you could sue them if they do something. So all these legalities and difficulties. that the days of knocking on, a door of a production company and saying, "Hey, can you at least let me tell you like what I'm thinking?" You have to like pay to do that, and that's absolutely ridiculous. And I just said, well, what's the point then? Like I at least I wrote it and I registered it with the Writers Guild, but you're asking for a miracle, and it's not going to happen. I mean, the people that you see, the Stallones, the Jennifer Lopez's, the one of ones, The Rock. These are people that came up during a time when there was something like there was they were needed, like they found a niche, it was like a snowball that was sitting at the top of the mountain. That's all it needed, was the right push to pick up momentum and go down, and to pick up steam. And those people that you're seeing that are worth hundreds of millions, I mean, they were those people that just got that right perfect push to that some that I said, well, I could use this person. Like there's always somebody above. Like, you understand with Stallone, it was Winkler and Chardoff, producers that Raging Bull came out and they said, well, this is, we can use this here. With Jennifer Lopez, it was the biopic of the Selena movie. Like, we'll take this woman that and it kind of looks like her, and she can sing and dance, and there you go, and it just snowballed. And that's what it is. It's almost, there's like a handful of people on the entire planet Earth that it has happened to, and then you've got, like, a couple thousand billionaires, people that were able to create something out of eight. The guy says 8 billion fucking people out there, 8 billion, most of which just moil and toil away and kind of just, they're just ants. Like, as one guy that I know that refers them to, nothing special, like me, nothing special, and that's just reality, man. That's just reality, and but the thing is, what I called this episode is about what you're doing that no one can see. And again, like today at night, I went back to the gym, 10 miles on the bike, and there's this guy, I call him Lambo, dude. He did quite a number of B movies, produced, and he's like, I'm on the bike for an hour, and he goes, wow, an hour, and I go, it's nothing, you know. To him, it's like it's all a waste of time. If you're not making money from it, it's like, you know, you could just take a syringe and shoot yourself with some steroids, and you got to look, there you go. You don't have to fucking, you put yourself through hell. You don't have to do everything. And it's amazing. Like, I choose to do the hard things, amazing, that you could work your ass off in the park, in the gym, back again, cardio. And it's like there ain't nobody fucking clapping for you, dude. I mean, you could put a shit ton of time and effort. Does it show? It shows. I always say only you know what you've been through in life. Only you know. And, it's, I mean, eventually it all comes to an end, but, what, wouldn't you want to know, like, if you put yourself through hell, like, what, like, what's on the other side? Like, saying, wow, like, I was willing to go through hell, literally, to turn myself into a beast. And that's what, like, David Goggins did, train 5, 6 hours a day and do just become a fucking savage, like, forget about money, forget about having any, whatever, just grinding away. to become the like a beast of an endurance athlete. It's you know, how many ultras you got. That shit's done like in the mountains, trails. There ain't nobody, no big marathon people, all thousands of people clapping for you and everything. No one knows. That's so amazing, that it's like you against you, or you just personal challenge. And I already talked about this in the last episode that I'm gonna do the Olympia, and then the next morning I got to be back here to do the Big Bear run. And it's this feeling that there's this like bus that takes you up the mountain. There's a half marathon, and then there's a full marathon, and it's far. I remember like when I was 48, on my birthday, I did my first half marathon, the Big Bear. Thought it was kind of cool. Like, 48th birthday, let's do something that we never did before. And so I kind of trained, and I said, all right, I did it. For me, what I do it within 2 hours and something, 2.5 hours is pretty fast. I was like, wow, because it's like down this mountain, ends in like Redlands. I remember when I crossed the finish line, the announce guy goes, and finishing on his birthday, Michael. It was pretty cool. Like I'll never forget that. Then a year later, I said, I'm gonna go back and do the fucking full marathon because I remember when the bus was coming going. It goes up. I forget the mountain, Highway 37 or whatever. It goes up, and there's other buses, the luxury buses or whatever. They take you, and what happens is that it stops. The half marathon stops at a certain point. Like, and then you see other buses turn up the road and keep going. I'm like, oh my god, they're going, where are they going? It's like, well, they're going to the start of the 26 miles. And so I said, I gotta see this. I gotta fucking, because I remember at the end of the marathon, half marathon, I got like, you get like the silver medal because it's like 13.2. And then these people had these gold ones, 26. I said, I want the fucking gold one. I want that one. So I said, next year I'm gonna get that fucking one. So on my 49th birthday, I did. I did. Well, it was a week after. I think it was November 20 something or whatever. But I said, I'm gonna do that full marathon. I fucking did it, and that's the first full marathon I ever did. And let me tell you something. Oh shit, it's far. Oh my god. You talk about experiences in my entire life. The full marathon of Big Bear. Okay, that bus continues up that mountain, and it doesn't make it all the way to Big Bear, but it goes pretty fucking close. And it says this in the brochure, when you start what feels like a world away, and they are not exaggerating, because when you get off, I got off that fucking bus, how cold it was. I knew it too. Now I can take the cold, whatever, but it is just amazing. You're standing in this area with about, I don't know, 1,500 other people. Like, in they got this music playing, and they got like water, and stars. They have a big light out, kind of blocks out the stars and everything. But and people are staying there with they give you these aluminum type coverings. But I said, no, no, don't sit down, move around, walk around, keep the blood flowing. And it is cold as fuck, and it's just like, it's amazing to put your mind there. It's why would you torture yourself? Let me tell you something. What David Goggins talks about, callousing your mind. When you put yourself in those really fucked up, uncomfortable situations, it's incredible. It's incredible to challenge yourself because it's like you're opening a door. Like, how do you describe this? It's just like it sucks, but it's like God helping you. Like, I don't know how to describe you. You're going to a place that's like it's like not a vacation, but it's like it's the best thing you could possibly do to challenge yourself. I mean, it's and I found it, like that was it for me. It's like you're how do you it's indescribable. It's indescribable. And I remember like you're in there up there for like an hour. It seems like it's till the end of time, like till you're freezing up there. You're like, but you're excited because the race is going to start, and I knew I was going to do this thing as slow as I possibly could because I'm not a runner. Like I'm not really that trained, and I remember like I think it was mile 18 or something or 16 because you go down the mountain and my quads I couldn't I went from a light jog to like a l- light trot to where I couldn't even I just even walking hurt, but I didn't care. I was going to walk it to the end, and I did. It took me like 6.5 hours. I almost cried when I got to the finish line. Like the emotions really, when you get to the finish line of a marathon, it is like my first one. It was unbelievable, fucking believable. It's like putting yourself through hell. Most people won't do that. No fucking way. No fucking way. And you think, okay, there's a couple thousand people that do this shit out of all this in San Bernardino County, people flying, whatever. And how many people do the fucking bodybuilding shows? This many. Because you can't hide nothing, dude. You're standing up there in the fucking black underwear, classic physique or whatever. And I'm in my 50s. I got like last place in the Masters division 2 years ago, sixth out of like whatever. Yeah, it was only 6 or 7 people. I was last, but I held the American flag proudly in the fucking on earth. 40 to 49 amateur. There's amateurs and pros. And I was like only 3 Americans out of 7, 40 to 49. And I'm going to be, wait till this one in November, 50 to 59 years old. I'm going to come in lean as fucking hell and sharp as hell. We'll see how I do this time. No money, no recognition. Well, the medal is nice. You get something, and depending on how you place, but it's just most people paying for all this. Dude, you don't live while you're alive, and you don't get any of the experiences. You're just gonna watch other people fucking do things, starring in movies, running marathons, whatever. I see people. There's a movie theater, a small movie theater right next to my gym, and these people walk out there. Oh yeah, what do you think? So and so. Fucking watch other people fucking doing. I want to be the one doing. I hate fucking watching other people. I can't go to a sporting event and watch a baseball, whatever. I was a fucking baseball player. I want to watch other fucking people. I worked my fucking ass off. I'm gonna fucking watch other people and make millions and millions of dollars. Sorry, it's just me, the way I don't care. I'll watch on YouTube, I watch some things on Facebook, whatever, but has to have its fucking limit, man. You're wasting your time watching other people do, and then you ain't doing nothing. Just adding to them. They're the ones becoming, and you're getting, and you're not doing shit because it's fucking hard and challenging. I run those steps at the fucking park 50 fucking times up and down. There's like 60 steps or whatever. Up, down, back 50 fucking times. Hard ass fucking shit. Calisthenics work in the park. Fuck. I see some people doing some stuff, but and I look, most of the shit that I see people doing is just not much value there. And I see some people doing, this one guy the other day doing these hard muscle ups really high, whatever like that. But I call it as like a one trick pony. You can do that, you know. But all right, great, but you know, it's like that's a leverage and momentum move. I mean, it's respectable, of course, but it's just not, dude. It's like you got to be kind of well rounded, a little bit of everything, and being able to move. It's like people that can just do karate or taekwondo. They're like the robots. They can just do one style, one thing, and that's not it, man. You got to be able to move. It's like dancing. Like I love like just you put on some music and boom, something that's hard, something get down. It's like wow, not this. What most people think is this stupid dancing with the stars ballroom, this type of linear robotic mechanical, dancing with somebody, and it's not fucking tight to look at. It's not impressive, in my opinion. But that's what gets on TV mostly. Stupid shit. So I don't watch any of it. Gets the TVs are right above the bike, so it's like sometimes I glance up, but I realize if I'm watching that, I'm not focusing on myself. And being on a bike for an hour can be monotonous, when you're sitting there. And I do like interval, 30 seconds moderately hard, 30 seconds moderately easy, back and forth, back and forth. And after an hour, it comes out to between 10 and 15 miles. Today was kind of slow. I only did 10 miles, but you got to understand that it's just the value. Think about it. If you're just continually grinding away, grinding away, grinding away, you are getting, you are extracting value. Remember that seed is underground. It's doing the work. You can't really see it, but you know, in the scale, let me tell you something about standing on the scale. The scale is like I get it, it shows you a number, but it doesn't reveal the whole story. Even the mirror, what you look like and everything. But let me tell you something, dude. I could get up on a handstand. I was able to get up on a handstand on my fucking fingertips. I don't know how many people can do that. Moderately impressive, or the human flag and stuff like that. But to me, like when people see that, it's like you show them or whatever, they see like, wow. Now to me, it's not a big deal, but because people just look at you, and they say that's all it is, but it's the movement, it's the ability, what you can do. Like Bruce Lee. You ever see that picture where he does the Cobra, and it's like, fuck, dude, 130 pounds, but a fucking killer, a fucking razor blade. And these people like Jack LaLanne and Bruce Lee and stuff like that, you take a little bit from these people, and then you create, you watch people like David Goggins, you see this kind of stuff, and you take for it, but the application is like is the work, the real work, and you do what sucks. If you don't, and you just gather all this information, then you're an idiot. If you don't apply it, you're an idiot. That's what it boils down to, because here you're given all the tools and you're not doing anything with it. So what does that make you? Lazy? Why? There's this one woman, an older woman. I mean, I don't want to belittle her, but she's asking me about what I eat, what do I do, what I train. She's asking all these people, but again, if you're not applying it, then what are you? You're an idiot. Asking. I got this other friend that is a good guy, but you know, tremendously overweight, and well, what am I gonna eat? What am I gonna eat? What am I? I'm not bragging, but like if I'm a Ferrari, right, and I'm 138 pounds, fluctuates, 140, 138, whatever. It's like a Ferrari. I'm going. Somebody that's really heavy is like a tanker truck that's leaking gas, and the reason I say that is because it just takes one match and the whole thing blows up. You know, they're don't realize what kind of trouble they're in. And the tanker truck is asking, where do I get more fuel? Where do I get more fuel? And I go, dude, you're overflowing with fuel. It's the fucking problem. The problem is everything that I know. I listened to Jay Cutler talk about certain training methods, and I said, yeah, it's like stuff I already know. Stuff I know, the way he trains tries and how he warms up for. It's like, do the same thing, but I'm not Mr. Olympia, but I knew all this. It's like all this stuff is not a big deal because nobody, like most people, they just want to do one thing. They just don't get it. They don't understand what happens when you get older. And then what happens is they get older and their health starts to decline, and they show up in the doctors and they go like this. They go, fix me. The doctor, won't even to tell you. They doctors being nice to you. Well, I can prescribe you medications to fix it. But the reality is, like, if they were brutally honest, they go, why the fuck did you allow yourself to get in this condition? Why didn't you take care of yourself? Well, I gotta make a living. I gotta make a living. Well, you're gonna make a fucking dying, dude. People, they just conform to that matrix type thinking. Gotta get a job, gotta have a family, gotta have pets. You're investing in these fun. I love animals. Do not get me wrong, but most people, they put so much on their plate that they forgot to take care of themselves. Worried that pets need to be walked, pets need to be taken care of. Yeah, well, guess what? You can only do so much in a day or whatever. And all the shit you put on your plate in life, it just, every time I don't even hang around these people, but this fucking one guy, his phone just won't stop fucking ringing. My friend's dogs have to be taken. They need food. They need, yeah. It becomes their problem, becomes your fucking problem. That's why I eliminate all these people. I run into them, whatever, a little, but I don't hang around any. I really, really just focus on myself. Really, really about being selfish and just working on yourself, which most people they need to be around other people. Yeah, well, they're doing the same thing and they're not going anywhere. And that's what it does. It just drags you down. Better off just being on your own and with your own thoughts and you know that lackey guy that I know that took in this homeless guy. He just can't be by himself, and that's his problem. You know, weakness, mental weakness. I love it. I love just being on my own and doing my own shit because you're challenging the narrative. You're going against what most people fucking do. It's very interesting. And everybody's gonna try to side. Yeah, it's all the ways. Oh, fuck you. Fuck you. I love doing different shit. I see the same fucking people in the gym. I don't think you pay them any attention, but they're doing, you know what they're doing? Just about worthless time passing exercises. They don't monitor their diet, making little to no progress, if any. Just wasting time, literally. It's like they're talking to other people in the gym. It's like they have all the tools there, everything. It's like in the park. The park is the best because it has what I call the real cutting edge tools, the brutal shit, the unforgiving stuff, the parallel bars, the rings, and the fucking pull up bar. The most unforgiving, hardest shit there is. And some people, they come in, they do a little something, little something, but they ain't gut grinding. I know the difference. I know the difference between putting yourself through hell and basically doing a little something and then doing almost nothing. Even me, I think I could be pushing harder. Like you know, because most people, it just doesn't. They don't see any value out of it. They just see like, if I work that hard in business, then I make money. Then. And that's what Lambo, dude, fucking, if you could take this type of energy and put it in it, I can't. I can figure it out. If you could build a rocket ship to Mars then or whatever. But thing is, if you can figure out something, then that's it. For me, I love the physical challenge. That's it. Comes with no recognition, no money, medal or something. That's cool. But that's my own fucking thing. I don't need my friend. Another friend of mine goes, "Hey, you put a camera on you when you go from Vegas to the pickup thing for the run and record everything." I fucking record it in my mind, man. That's what fucking matters. Stop, trying to get people to watch you. Watch me like this a little kid. Watch me, watch me. Ain't nothing to fucking watch, dude. Another guy brings a camera with him to like show him doing 50 dips or whatever. Who gives a shit, dude? It's not a big deal. You do 50,000 dips or whatever, and whatever. Maybe somebody will watch, but come on, man. You know, it's just like, you know, be a lot of fucking times, a lot of work. That you're gonna question, man, I'm putting myself through this, and what am I getting off of it? I know. I know, because it's a lot. If you monitor your diet like I do, it's a lot. But that's how you get a fucking lot, man. If you don't go to a place that most won't go, then you know, what do you expect? What makes you, I mean, I'm sorry, but it's like, I mean, you don't have to run at 3:30 in the morning or whatever like Goggins does every day, but something, that's where the value, he finds the value. That's his example of what works for him. But you don't do nothing. You just do the average like most people, it's nothing. It's not a big fucking deal, then you're not a big fucking deal. And why should anybody give a shit? I mean, if you take care of yourself, you don't have to go to extreme measures like me and him or whatever. But it's just amazing. It's like you got these people that are super elite, can do incredible shit. And then it's like you got this average kind of thing where, but if you take care of yourself, it'll keep you out of the hospitals more than likely. But it's just like amazing that most people, they just don't put any real value in it. They don't. They really. I just. I don't know what to say. It's just. Anyway, that's all. I just wanted to try to relate some points. That I feel that when you're not normal like most people, you shouldn't relate to most people. Most people, I guess, are worried about money, and things like that. And, you know, I get it. I get that. But, you do create your own life. I'm not perfect by any means, man. I'm definitely not. But I urge you to think about, like, could you create a better version of yourself if you stop hanging around people that, for the most part, just drag you down? And that's most people. They're not worth your time. I like that idea because it gives you, when the phone is not, and when all this kind of shit, that you can think, really think. You'd be surprised when you're by yourself and you got plenty of time to fucking think. Like, did I live a life worth living? I mean, did I create the absolute best version of myself? Why am I wasting time with these people like that are, you know, do I really need this? Is this going to advance me? I don't think, I think people go along with this societal linear way of thinking. They just very robotic, like these delivery carts you see that are going, many people like that. Carbon based machines, that I see nowadays in a human form. Ridiculous. Anyway, that's it for now, but you learned something. Carbon based machines. Yeah.